And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It has been a few months since my last channel update, and well, here we are again. Isn't that great? We're here because some of the things I said last time, would you believe it? I actually did. We completed Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm currently working on Metal Gear Solid VR missions while we wait for Guns of the Patriots to come to PC. However, I have not been as good at keeping myself in check before starting new projects. I'm sure you may have noticed. So at the moment, our current Let's Plays and Roleplays are the following. Baldur's Gate 3. However, as I'm sure you know, this one is on hiatus due to some burnout with the game and a pretty bad setback due to difficulty. I have a lot to replay, and honestly, it kind of killed the momentum for me. Yakuza 0. Now, this is something I really want to dive into. I've got a lot of ground to cover. I want to do the entire series, just like we're doing with Assassin's Creed. I have worked on it more recently with Part 11, Makoto Makimura, but I have been experiencing several technical issues, including losing several hours of gameplay in between Part 10 and 11. Though technical issues do happen, I also have suffered from a random spell of stupid. I lost footage from the beginning of the cutscene to Chapter 5, so I'm trying to come up with my best solution for that. Please, if you're interested in Yakuza, reference my post on the channel about bringing Yakuza 0 back for more information. I do have a question about it. Moving on. We've got Assassin's Creed Origins. The long-running marathon continues. It's finally back to being recorded much more often. I'm currently getting ready to record Part 14, and we've been traveling down the Nile. Knights of the Old Republic is another one of our role plays, and it's currently in its 14th part. We have just gotten to Kashyyyk after getting through the extended tutorial of Terrace and Dantooine. I need to tackle this again because it's such a long and great game, but honestly, those extended alien dialogue sequences just take it out of me sometimes. Something similar happens to Yakuza 0, where I am not a native Japanese speaker, and so sometimes it can kind of tax me a little bit because I'm trying my best to pay attention and make the video entertaining. Now, speaking of role plays, we also have Henry's current adventure in the Mojave with Fallout New Vegas. We've just arrived in Novak, though this has fallen to the wayside in the light of me hammering hard on Metal Gear Solid, though I do need to return to this soon because Fallout in general and my role plays are really a good highlight of what I do. Cal Kestis's most recent adventure is still going strong. We have begun Resident Evil. We're a little ways into it, about 5 hours. As well as we have begun one singular episode of Shadow of Mordor and then 2 episodes of Metro 2033. Now, that's a lot. And that's just the Let's Plays. Video essays and gaming rambles are somewhat of a newfound joy for me to produce, and we do have the 6th episode of Talking Tabletops coming out as soon as I can finish producing that video footage. I've been playing around with the console in New Vegas, trying to collect ambient footage, so particularly sequences with the Brotherhood of Steel or Super Mutants, because Part 6 of Talking Tabletops is actually all about character creation in the Fallout role-playing game. Now, I do try to touch base with the community as much as I can, so I really need you guys to let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you might be interested in seeing me tackle in the future. Is there anything that I'm doing that you think I should drop? Do you have anything that you think I should add? I would love to know. Now, some action items that I've been trying to fix are, in general, my audio, my editing, and overall content quality, which also now extends to my thumbnails. Now, I'm no graphic artist, and you're not going to see much in the way of like dynamic design there with high energy, attention grabbing, almost clickbait titles with the shocked faces or memes. listen, I come from the school of very, very old school YouTube, and that's what inspires me. I take my content library very seriously. Now, I'm not saying that I won't ever do that. If I do let loose, then something like that might be in the cards. And I'm just looking over at my channel, and I've got a ton here. However, something on the channel has not aged well. And unfortunately, that is a lot of my original content. That is every Assassin's Creed from the original all the way to Syndicate. That is both Mafia games, Mafia Definitive Edition 1 and 2. I was streaming those, and therefore it was more live. I was talking to exactly like one person. So if I do a proper Let's Play, I'll delist the original playlist. I'll only do that when the new playthrough is finished. So for example, I need to figure out how to make the PC version of Assassin's Creed 1 work a little bit better. And then I'll be doing that. So Assassin's Creed, the Ezio trilogy, all the way into the Americas collection with Assassin's Creed 3, The Tyranny of King Washington, and even Liberation HD. I want to do Black Flag properly, original Black Flag, and Freedom Cry, then Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, and the DLCs for that as well. Assassin's Creed Origins is already up to what I consider fine. So I'm going to be doing the replays in the background, and they'll just show up one day and probably run every day until they're complete. They are going to be much longer because I don't make 3 to 4 hour videos anymore. I try to condense down between 30 minutes and maybe an hour and 30 minutes max. And I honestly think that is about it. Much shorter video today, just a little chat. I do want to do more podcasting with friends. I want to go back to Shadow of Mordor. I've got a lot of things that I need to do and that I want to do. At the time of this recording, I've probably got about between 599, maybe 620 videos at the moment. And I really do love it. I'm not monetized. Obviously, you can see that by the big old fat 96 subscribers. And if you have noticed, I have quit doing all of the YouTube things. I have quit doing the, hey, if you liked the video, let me know with a like on the video, with a comment, and subscribe and ring the bell. You know what? If you enjoy my content, I really hope you do like and subscribe. I hope you tell your friends and comment down below. I had a lovely conversation on a recent video where I did kind of a retrospective look back at Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And I had a great conversation with a viewer who went by the name Luminescence3422. At the moment that we were discussing things, actually, I believe this was Big Tucky, but I think that they may have changed their username. But I see you. Thank you very much for the conversation. It was fantastic. But I do enjoy interacting with you guys. So if you are viewing my content, let's talk about it. My essays on the Starkiller clones and the original Starkiller have had great conversations. And I would like to continue to make videos like that. That's probably one of my favorite things to do now. And we have gone through a lot of things. I mean, we did the post-apocalypses in gaming. We've done the costumes of the Force Unleashed, a look at Starkiller, the Rule of Two, a Dead Man, a look at the clones of Starkiller. single player with benefits, why I personally keep coming back to solo play. There was the one where I talked about my carnivore diet and losing 111 pounds in a year. We've talked about escapism, being discouraged, about how less can be more and getting away from the big 100+ hour games. I've talked about my issues with Ubisoft lately and how I feel like they're desynchronizing the fan base from the modern day metaplot. We talked about choosing good and morality in gaming, and then that was the big video on my Black Flag retrospective, which covers about sequence 1 to 3, and I like doing that. I have had people ask for more lore videos for Star Wars. Lore with Star Wars is like bread and butter to me. I can talk about it all day, but it is a little bit hard to have conversations when I haven't recorded footage for that topic. For example, after I'm done with Jedi Survivor, I have a big character study on Cal Kestis and some of the big themes that his character and those games go into. I think it wouldn't be a spoiler to say, Survivor's guilt with Cal is a big one. And then other things, character deep dives, conceptual, hobby things, all sorts. And I'm having a really good time, but I think it is becoming obvious that a career in YouTube is not here for Jeff. And that's okay. And if that changes, that's great. And Jeff, if you're looking back at this channel update in a year from now, did we make it? Maybe not. I'm not Marty McFly. Well, anyway, what could have been a 7-minute video has turned into a 12.5-minute video. And you know what? That's okay too. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in to today's channel update. This was June 5th, 2026, and we've got a lot of things coming to the channel, including Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that I'll just kind of announce that. I have that scheduled to be premiering really soon, probably this weekend. No, not this weekend, but next weekend, starting on Friday, June 12th. And then a follow-up episode the next day on the 13th. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a long game, and I'll play it as I like, and I really like the game, so we'll have fun. But I do reinforce, I want to stick to the things that I have been running long time. Assassin's Creed, now Metal Gear, Fallout. But it's good for me to be able to break that up a little bit. And hopefully, you all can tune in as I upload and follow along right with me. Or, if you prefer to binge the content, I have organized the channel into several different playlists and collections, such as our ongoing Let's Plays. That is everything I work on that is not completed. If you just want role plays where I talk completely in character, then I've got a section for that. I've got one for Star Wars, Metal Gear, Assassin's Creed, and then at the very bottom, anything that I've completed. Well, I think that I've talked quite long enough. Oh, except, very sorry, I do have right above ongoing Let's Plays, my talks, podcasts, and rambles. So that is anything from talking tabletops to my rambles and one-shot videos, channel updates just like this one, and then my video game essays and retrospectives. And I do think that that is going to be enough for today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in today. As I've already said, I do appreciate you checking in. I love video games and I love stories. Thank you so much for letting me share stories that I love. Hopefully you appreciate them too, or maybe you found a new story you never thought about. I hope each and every one of you is having a great day, and as always, please keep telling stories.